Ted Cruz to me has been what we used to call in the NFL a me guy. And me guys are the ones who are always looking out for themselves, who put themselves forward first, who think that what's best for them is the most important thing. I'm somebody who believes in the power of we, and I've always been that way as a football player and also as an elected official, trying to find ways that we can work together. And so fundamentally, one of the biggest changes will be how we go about our work. I've been the most bipartisan member of the entire Texas congressional delegation. I'm proud of that. I work hard at that. I think Ted Cruz has been one of the most extreme members of the United States Senate. So that certainly, I think, will change. But also, to me, freedom is under attack here in Texas. And that begins with the freedom to make your own health care decisions, including access to an abortion. And what's happening here in Texas, to me, is nothing short of tragic. We've seen these horrific stories coming out of women being turned away from hospitals because the hospitals are worried about treating them in a high-risk pregnancy.
And where's the line, in your opinion, of what abortion should be allowed and what should it go back to where Roe versus Wade has it?
I do. I think so. Within the Roe v. Wade construct, states have certainly options, and I think that is one that over 50 years we have come to respect and understand that in some states there will be different restrictions.
Do you think that is where Texans are at, though? Because for the last couple of years they've been electing, quote unquote, pro-life politicians. I looked up the stats, and monthly abortion numbers in Texas is at 9. So it pretty much does not exist in the state of Texas, and there hasn't been a big reaction to that.
Yeah, listen, I'm a fourth generation Texan. I was born and raised here in Dallas. I went to school in Waco. My family's from Brownsville. I think I know who we are, and Texans believe in freedom. And this is not it. When you have counties saying you can't drive through a county road if you're going to use those roads to access an abortion, I wonder, how are you going to enforce that? We're going to start pulling Texas women over and asking them, what's the nature of your travel, ma'am? When we are seeing families that are trying to make these most important decisions, and the government is reaching into that decision and saying, we're going to make it for you. That's not freedom.
Recently, conservative firebrand Senator Ted Cruz has been emphasizing his bipartisan credentials. He points to the FAA reauthorization bill. He's out with a new IVF bill. What do you think of that effort from him?
Well, in the NFL, we used to say, check the tape, because the tape doesn't lie. And here, for 12 years, Ted Cruz has been an incredibly proud, hyper-partisan, somebody who has been one of the most extreme senators, and very proud of it, and saying that this is actually why you should support him when he's running for president, for example. And now that he's in a tough election, we see a change. And I think that's incredibly cynical, but I also think that Texans see right through it.
Does he have a point to a certain extent where there's only 100 senators? Most of the work that you guys will do is bipartisan. Now, it's not the big picture items, the big ticket items, but most of the work is bipartisan.
The work is being done by other people. It's not being done by him. When the rubber meets the road, and you have to actually pass a bill to help Texans and to help Americans, he's not there. Whether it's the CHIPS and Science Act that John Cornyn helped us pass, that really no state is benefiting more from than Texas, Ted Cruz votes against it. Then he wants to show up later at semiconductor manufacturers and talk about the work that we're doing at the federal level. Well, he's a free rider there.
What are some key issues that you differ with the national Democrats or President Joe Biden on?
Yeah. Well, I've been proudly a Texan first, and I think that sometimes has put me at odds with my party, and I understand that. But whether it's voting to say that we do have a crisis at the southern border and it's not being addressed by the administration, I've done that. Or whether it's saying, listen, oil and gas is an important part of our full energy economy. We're the #1 energy state in the country. We lead in solar and wind, but also in oil and gas. That's something that I've stood up to my own party about. And so I try to look for things that I think are most important for our state first, for my community first.